This show is part of the RetroZap.com podcast network. And welcome everybody to episode 30 of the Animaniacast.
Get off that boat! It goes to purgatory!
Purgatory, here we come. So long, hate and devils gone. Where fires will spire into the night. Where boulders will smolder, sizzling bright. The afterlife's cruel politics.
Sends us on the river Styx.
At our feet, flames take their licks. Oh, purgatory, here we come.
And welcome once again to the Animaniacast. We are the one and only podcast that is dedicated to the animated television series, the Animaniacs. Each and every week, we revisit an episode of the series in the order in which it was released, and we go over all the gags and all the jokes and all the cultural references, etc., etc. We share our memories of first watching the episode and what we think about the episode right now. And in the end, we give each and every episode a water tower rating. I am Joey, and joining me once again is my brother Nathan.
Is this a live recording, or how does this work?
It's live. And all the way across the country is Kelly.
Hello.
Yes, Nathan, it's live to tape.
Oh, okay.
Or live to digital, or whatever they say, right?
All right, I was just curious.
So, today's episode is episode 30, and we get to have, I would say, one really good segment, and then two other ones which are okay.
They're also segments.
They're also segments.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about today's episode in a few words? Kelly, I'll start with you.
It was a mashup of a lot of different things. It was an odd mixture.
Yes, that's for sure. What do you think, Nathan?
I think if you had that Animaniacs Halloween episodes, I would probably put it in that list of...
Oh,
like
that's true.
If you had like your top 10 Animaniacs Halloween episodes, I'd put it in that list.
That's true. It's
almost kind of Halloween-y-ish.
It does continue the spooky-ish theme that we had from a previous episode. Because, Nathan, when was this episode first premiered?
So, Joey, this first premiered on Thursday, October 28th, 1993, which was, of course, one day after the Dunes Hotel in Vegas was imploded. So
that is a very interesting fact. The Dunes Hotel in Vegas, which we had never gone to or anything like that.
But the implosion.
It imploded. They
imploded it.
Okay, very nice, Nathan. And like we said before, this episode actually was shown before last week's episode.
Yeah, so I don't know why on the DVD and Netflix and everything they changed it around.
Because you think, I guess last week's episode was more Halloween-y.
Yeah,
and
but
then this one was a little less Halloween-y, but they're both about Halloween. You could technically put it in the order in which it was like 29 and 30 and still get the same effect, I suppose, right?
Yeah.
But, whatever. So...
Yeah, it doesn't matter, so...
Well, just interesting how they decide to do that kind of stuff sometimes. Yeah. Let's go ahead and get right into the episode. First of all, this episode started off before even the credits started, or the opening credits. It started off with a good idea, bad idea.
It's time for another good idea, bad idea.
And the good idea was dressing up for Halloween as a pirate. Mm-hmm. And, of course, the bad idea is dressing up for Halloween as a piñata.
Which, of course, you would think that. No.
So, it's a cute kind of thing. What kind of stood out for me was that, number one, you have a little girl dressed like the Little Mermaid.
I noticed that, too.
I noticed it as well.
And even though I'm sure it's not related because it was released, a day before the movie, one of the kids looks like what's little kids in Nightmare Before Christmas,
oh, yeah.
What's their name?
Oogie Boogie
Oogie Boogie Kids.
Kids, is that what they're called?
Yeah. Okay. Oh, gosh. It's driving me crazy. But they wear masks on their face and everything like that. So one of the kids kind of looks like that. Now, it's not really connected unless somebody in the production team had something to do with Nightmare Before Christmas. And that's where they got the inspiration for it. But, it's just a Halloween mask, I suppose. But anyway, that's not the only Mr. Skullhead we have. We'll get to the other Mr. Skullhead cartoon we have later in this episode. But what do you guys think on the scale of good idea, bad ideas? Is this a good one or a bad one?
I thought it was a good one.
Yeah, Kelly?
I did as well.
I thought Pinata and Pirate, they're different.
Similar,
but
yeah, I didn't really see the connection until now. I'm actually seeing the notes, and I'm like, oh, because they are like,
they're
kind of the same word.
Yeah, they look the same when you write them out almost. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, when you kind of cross your eyes and you look at the word pirate and pinata, they look like the same word. So, very cool. So let's go ahead and get right into these episodes here. So the first cartoon we have is called Hot, Bothered, and Bedeviled. And Hot, Bothered, and Bedeviled was a story by Tom Ruegger, and it was written by John P. McCann and directed by Rusty Mills. And Kelly, what happens in Hot, Bothered, and Bedeviled?
Well, very similarly to earlier episodes, the Animaniacs are traveling and kind of digging through the ground and following a map. And they're looking for Six Flags Over Flushing, but as usual, they end up in the wrong place. So this time they end up in hell, and they meet Satan, who is their new best friend. And this one, they are particularly annoying because there's one moment where he says, "I don't want to hear another peep from you," and they go peep, 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 and it's really cute, but also like. I mean, if I can just imagine like a parent having kids do that and be like, "Oh my goodness, stop that!" But it's just a funny episode, and there's a whole lot of gags and references, and it's just one of those segments that's just chock full of stuff, and I've always really enjoyed it. And I think Ron Perlman's the voice of Satan.
Yes.
But he reminds me of Tim Curry in Legend.
You think you have won? What is light without dark? What are you without me?
Well, Nathan, did you ever see Legend with Tom Cruise and Tim Curry at all?
I know of Tim Curry, though. He's always evil in everything he's in.
No, well...
well...
Pretty much.
I was thinking not in Annie, but yeah, he kind of is. I wouldn't say evil, but he's a bad guy.
He's technically the one that chases Annie up a tower and tries to pull her off.
He's pretty much always evil.
He's kind of evil.
In Clue, he's not always evil, right?
Yeah, depending on what ending you
exactly,
watch.
Well, in Earth 2, he was ambiguously evil.
Now, I don't know if I don't think there is a Six Flags. I mean, they keep saying Six Flags Over Flushing. I'm assuming they mean Flushing Meadows in New York or something, but I don't know. Do anyone know what they're talking about with the Six Flags Over Flushing? I just Googled it, and I don't think there's a Six Flags Over Flushing.
No.
But who knows? Maybe there was at one point, but they've closed some.
Yeah.
The Animaniacs, I have looked online. They did have the Animaniacs in Six Flags as like featured characters, so you could actually see, them just like you go see Minnie and Mickey at Disneyland. You can go see Yakko, Wacko, and Dot, and some Six Flags across the country. So that's kind of a cool little connection right there. But yeah, I thought it was kind of neat that Ron Perlman was the devil in this one because. Of course, later he would be Hellboy as well. So there you go. It's kind of connected there.
Yeah, and he talks about shaving his horns, and I was like, perfect.
Blasted horns, I knew I should have gotten them trimmed.
Listen, if you're gonna hang around here all day, we're gonna just take off.
Well, let's go over some of the references real quick. So first of all, the title itself, Hot, Bothered, and Bedeviled. Of course, that's a parody of the song Bewitched, Bothered, and Bewildered. I don't know. I'm just used to Frank Sinatra singing it, and it's kind of a slowish kind of song. Not one of my favorite, songs, but there you go. And of course, it starts off with Saddam Hussein talking to the people of Iraq before putting down a trapdoor into hell. Well, they don't call it hell in this one, do they?
Hades.
Yeah,
they say mostly.
He drops into a lake of fire.
People of Iraq.
This is right after the Gulf War, so seeing Saddam Hussein being parodied was a kind of a common thing back then. Of course, the biggest one I really remember is in Hot Shots and Hot Shots Part 2.
Let's make this a fair fight.
I've been waiting for you, oh big one. We meet at last. The circle is complete. Now, I am the master.
I'll be the master of evil, Saddam.
Your powers are...
Your powers are weak, old man. You should not have come.
Well, I have. We'll settle this the old Navy way. First guy to die loses.
The singers that we have going right here are the Andrews sisters kind of girls. I think they were all voiced by Tress MacNeille, I'm pretty sure.
You plunge into the fire and it's really hot. You have to stay forever whether you like it or not. When the torment never ends. You got fiery brimstone and demons for friends. You're in Hades now for eternity. Hope you're not too choosy about your company.
But yeah, the Andrews sisters did like the Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy. And in fact, the song that they sing is very similar to the Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy from Company B, I believe is how it goes, right? And of course, we're watching, a family is watching TV and screaming as they're in hell. The TV show that they're forced to watch is The Facts of Life.
Take the good, you take the bad, take what's left, and there you have...
The Facts of Life.
Yeah.
Now, Nathan, do you remember, you ever watched The Facts of Life?
No, I just know that from Scrubs. I know they sang that one episode.
Yeah. Kelly, did you ever watch that as a kid?
Yeah, I kind of vaguely remember.
Yeah, I remember them going to Europe. That's about all I remember from them. And
I remember George Clooney was in it.
Oh, George Clooney was in a lot of like old stuff back then. I mean, he was in Roseanne for a long time, I believe, too. One thing I thought was kind of cute was when the devil holds on to them and everything like that, and they ask him,
Hey, does George Hamilton know your tan's better than his?
And George Hamilton is currently you could probably see him in some of the ads for Kentucky Fried Chicken, I believe. He's the crispy Colonel.
So he's all orange.
Yeah, because he's like an orangish kind of guy. He's still kicking. He's still doing a good job. I remember seeing him on Dancing with the Stars. I almost said Dancing on the Stars, but that's a different show. No, it's Dancing with the Stars. He's a funny guy. I always like George Hamilton, but I don't really know much from him other than that. At one point, the Yakko and Wacko and Dot, they are very impressed with one of Satan's kind of magic tricks that he does.
Halt, you miserable mortals!
Great trick.
Yeah, cool. All right. Do you know Siegfried and Roy?
Yeah.
As, Nathan, you talked about the Dunes Hotel earlier for Las Vegas. So,
yeah.
Siegfried and Roy used
they
to be...
probably performed there, for all I know.
Maybe.
I don't know.
We'll say yes.
Sure.
If you're a Star Trek fan, of course, there is also a reference right there. Dr. Leonard Bones McCoy comes out.
Wacko, anything in your gag bag that can handle this?
No, Yakko.
Dot, comments, analysis.
Nothing, Yakko.
Bones.
Darn it, Yakko, I'm a doctor, not a magician.
Because Yakko, of course, is doing his William Shatner impression once again. But that's pretty much it for cultural references, at least according to the guide I have right here. There's a Three Stooges one as well that he
and
talks.
Does Mo Larry Cheese.
Here's Curly Howard on a visit to Wisconsin.
About Larry Cheese! About Larry Cheese!
Curly Howard and the Three Stooges. Ladies and gentlemen, my next rendering.
But Mo Larry Cheese apparently is actually from one of the Three Stooges' actual shorts called Horses' Collars in 1935. So I had no idea about that. I thought he was just saying, like, there's cheese in Wisconsin.
That's what I assumed it was.
Yeah.
But apparently it's actually connected.
Oh, Larry Cheese! The cheese! Wait a minute. Here. No, Roquefort. All right, the cheese. Just a minute. Roquefort. There you are. Roquefort. What's the matter with him?
We forgot to tell you. Every time he sees a mouse, he goes crazy. He's marked that way.
Why? Because his father was a rat.
I think I should mention also that that Satan right here was first appeared in Tiny Toons.
Yeah.
In, let's see, what episode was this? This was in a Night Ghoulery episode where Plucky defends Maximilian from going down to Satan, I believe. Do you remember this one, Kelly?
No, but you said Night Ghoulery, so that made me think of Night Gallery.
Yes.
Which was a television show years ago, and I know a certain director who directed an episode of Night Gallery.
Oh, would that be Steven Spielberg?
It would be Steven Spielberg.
That's cool. Well, the episode is called Daniel Webfoot, and Nathan and I were actually watching a little bit of it before we started recording, and it's
really similar. I mean, like
the design and everything.
Yeah, when they go down to Hades or whatever, and then there's they have that same like lava and bridge basically of rock over the lava, and then even the creatures are all the same.
Yeah, the creatures to me, they looked a little bit like the pig-like creatures in Sleeping Beauty. Actually, to me, they had that kind of look, like little demonic kind of serpents right there that Maleficent would have around her.
Are you sure you searched everywhere?
Yep, everywhere. We all did.
And what about the town? The forests, the mountains?
We searched mountains, forests, and houses, and let me see, and all the cradles.
Cradle?
Yep. Every cradle.
So in this episode, the Animaniacs, or the Warners, I should say, actually confront Satan. This is one of their biggest challenges yet, I suppose. It's one thing to go up against Dracula or something like that, but when you're dealing with Satan, you can't get more evil than that.
He's a mortal. He's foolish mortals.
Yeah. In the Wikipedia entry for this, I was reading through and it said that this episode was close to being banned. And to me, I was going, what? They're close to being banned?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know about that. And so what do you do when you have those kinds of questions? Well, you go out on Twitter and what kind of a cool world we live in, by the way, that we can just actually go out and ask the creators and the writers of the show.
Yeah.
Hey, so tell me more about this and get a response back within an hour or so. It's kind of cool. So I went out and...
It's magic.
It's magic. So I reached out to John P. McCann and Tom Ruger and asked them about if there was any ever truth to this episode, being close to being banned. And John P. McCann wrote on Twitter back to us saying he didn't know about it ever being banned, but there were complaints. But he said, I mean, the devil gets his butt kicked. What's wrong with that? So
they're also kind of rude to St. Peter's.
They did grab St. Peter by the cheek. In fact, I think to hopefully not offend somebody out there, because
they don't say his name.
Yeah, exactly. I'm
St.
So, yeah, it's a tricky subject dealing with religion right here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was brave of the writers to even go there, I think. But Tom Ruger also said that they did get some lyrics censored. They have that really cool little song. That's kind of
on the river Styx.
Yeah, kind of like a California, here we come kind of tune.
And Death comes back.
It's true. Death, that's a different...
It's a different Death.
Yeah, I like the original Death that we saw for Meatballs or Consequences. This one was a lot more creepy.
Yeah, much lower voice, too.
Yeah, I didn't like this one. But Tom Ruger did say that they did get some lyrics censored in that song. The lyrics were originally going to be, God in his cruel politics sends us to the river Styx. Flames will be our crucifix. So it's you could see like they were going for it there, which is cool. I mean, I'm glad that we got the episode we did. I think it was featured in I know at least 1 or 2 VHS releases. And I've, every now and then on Twitter, I'll, kind of monitor people's reactions. And this episode does get shock from some people that, wow, they're actually going to hell right here and they're going against Satan. It's just something you don't see in cartoons much today. I don't know, guys, what do you think? What are some of your favorite moments from your, this first segment?
Well, I like the peep peeps, as Kelly was saying, but also the wiggle, 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 wiggle. Just being super annoying for...
Yes, that's a good GIF, by the way. I've seen that a few times, just them wiggling back and forth infinitely, which is kind of cool.
It's fun.
Kelly, what about you?
Well, I like that Dot has one of her pets meet Satan, and then also the fact that she talks about how she's Princess Angelina Contessa Luisa Francesca Banana Fana Bobesca III.
Yes, and she becomes like huge and to scare not to really scare Satan, but kind of intimidate him back. And it's just a little thing she does, I know my wife watching it with me, my wife really liked it when Wacko turned into a giraffe a little bit. His neck turned into a giraffe and they stretched out. She likes giraffes a lot, so she got excited when she saw that happen.
I like the political singer that was in that one room.
The government.
The government.
You will remain in here for eternity listening to whiny protest songs from the 60s.
Oh, I hate the government more than you and me. The government stole my goldfish and unplugged my TV.
Is that Randy Newman, basically?
No, I think it's Bob Dylan.
Bob Dylan, okay.
It's a Bob Dylan impression right there. But yes, that would how that would be torturing the Warners. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
One thing that I noticed was at one point they did a joke that we first saw in Hooked on a Ceiling. Did you guys catch it? Did you notice what I noticed?
Because he was hooked on a ceiling?
No. That's good, Nathan. But no. The part I saw that was like hooked on a ceiling was when he was going to throw the Warners into the room with the folk singer, and then all of a sudden he throws himself in, just like Michelangelo was going to throw out the
I thought they did it
Warners.
better in Hooked on a Ceiling, though.
Yeah.
Everything was better than Hooked on a Ceiling.
Yes. But that was cool. I'd like to see, that gag come back, which is always cool to see. Overall, just a really cute, funny episode. And yeah, like I said before, pretty brave that I think the writers decided to go for that and go for something that was, could get them, whenever you deal with religion, you're going to get people who think that it should not be put into kind of a funny light at all, I suppose, right? I mean, I remember even for movies that whenever you depict Jesus or God or the devil or anything like that, you'll get people outside of movie theaters, protesting the movie for people not to see it and stuff like that. So I could see what, some people saying, you can't do this, you can't show the devil, you're making kids Satanists by showing them this. I don't know what they would have, but like
I'm
John,
just glad they beat the devil.
Yeah, exactly. John McCann actually shows they kick his butt. Like, what's the problem?
Yeah, he's gonna try to fix the pilot light now.
Well, hell did freeze over.
Yeah, exactly.
That was the Warners made it freeze over, and all different types of mythology of hell. I mean, they're calling it Hades, and they have how do you pronounce Cerberus's name? Is that the 3-headed dog?
Yeah.
But of course, that's from Greek or Roman mythology, or perhaps both. You know how that happens.
Yeah.
But overall, just really cute. Any other thoughts, guys, on this first cartoon?
It was fun.
It was cute.
All right. One more thing that I noticed in this first cartoon was, I believe it was Nicholas Hollander, who was one of the writers, who was being poked in the butt and actually put into hell right there. Nicholas Hollander has been in 2 other episodes already. He was the one where, oh gosh, now I'm totally forgetting the piano player's name. You help me out, Nathan. The great Timpanini.
Oh, okay.
Thank you for helping me out. He was
just
staring
at you.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, what are you talking about?
Well, he was in
Beethoven?
He was in the big yard sale and the big garage sale or whatever that was called. And of course, he was in the Timpanini episode as well. So Nicholas Hollander makes a quick appearance right here before he gets put into the lava of hell right there. So you can pause, you can watch him go in. So that's kind of a cool little thing right there. Well, before we go to the next episode, we have a quick commercial break for Funko products because...
why are we doing this?
Because, watch this.
This way to commercials. Hey, it wasn't my idea.
Hey, Nathan, guess what I have?
Oh, wait, what is this?
I have something here in the box.
Oh, good sound effects.
Sound effects. Because I just stopped at Hot Topic on the way over here.
Okay.
And look what I got.
It's Wacko. It's a Funko Wacko. It's a Funko Yakko. It's a Funko... Oh, it's a Funko Dot. Okay, I thought it was going to be a Star Wars thing at the last one.
Well, no, but I did get Hera and Chopper, too. But that's...
So I was right.
So you're right.
I was kind of right.
There were Star Wars Funkos in there, too. But we're not going to talk about those. Although
too late.
Although Hera and Chopper do look pretty cool. We're going to talk about Yakko, Wacko, and Dot. And we're going to give a quick mini review of these figures and what we think. So first of all, the boxes, they look cute.
It's cubed.
It's a cube.
It's like rectangular.
Yes. Now I'm not really too familiar with Funko boxes at all, but the actual boxes, it's cool. If you want to see pictures of it, there's tons of it.
Yeah. On the back, they have a water tower and things like that. So.
Yeah. So kind of cool. And they're numbered 160. Mine's.
I have 161 and 162.
Okay, 161 through 163.
Okay.
For the record. Let the record show. All right. So here's Dot.
May I approach the bench?
Okay. So
oh, nice.
Dot.
Okay.
I'm gonna open up the next one. You say what you.
Her head swivels. She can not like saying no basically, and she has one hand out, basically almost like a talk to the hand, but pointed at the floor.
Okay.
And so you can pose her so she's looking sideways, like almost if you want anything, you should put a ring on it, almost like to the side.
All right, well, let's move on here. Let's see. Hand me Yakko, and I'm going to hand you Wacko. What do you think about Wacko?
Okay, all right, here, I have Yakko here. I'm going to put Dot up on a table.
You have Wacko in your hand.
Yeah, I have Wacko here. Sorry, here we go. Okay. Wacko can look back and forth, trying to see if looks like some paint could be missing right here on his arm.
No!
You can look for yourself.
Uh-oh. But I hate it when that happens. See, I ordered these online, and that's always the risk, because I always like getting multiple figures and then comparing and contrasting all the different figures to see which one looks best,
Yeah, but like... looking wise, it looks really good. He's got his nice red hat.
There you go. And he has his hands to his side like, whoa.
Like, what just happened?
Where's the little...
On his other arm.
On his other arm. Let me see here.
Looks like on the top of his left arm.
Oh, yeah. A little bit of blue on his arm is gone.
It's hardly noticeable.
Very
but
not noticeable. Okay, last one to go is Yakko.
Here's Yakko. Okay. Now he's got his finger pointed in the air.
Like he has an idea.
Or like he's Harrison Ford getting mad at someone. Harrison Ford always does that with one finger. Just
okay. Yes, he does.
That's his signature move. And
yes. You did that to C-3PO. I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hey. I think
it'll wait.
But yeah, he looks good. I like Yakko a lot.
So what do you think about these Fun? And they're a little shorter than normal Funkos. I think. Again, I'm not a huge Funko person, but they look really cute together, and I like how they look. There you go.
Look at that.
They're sitting on the table next to us now, and yeah, they look really cute. Yakko, Wacko, and Dot. So what do you think, Nathan? Would you, now I got these basically on sale at Hot Topic, so they were able to be, I want to say $7.50 each, perhaps, or something like that.
Yeah, I would say they're probably worth that.
Yeah, they look pretty cute. And would you recommend Animaniacs fans buy these?
Yeah, if you really like Animaniacs and Funko things, then you should definitely get them. That's my recommendation.
That makes sense to me. So there you go. That is and you can see, like, they are a little shorter. Like, here's Hera, just for,
well, the audience can't see this.
Well, but they're dropping.
Okay, yeah,
sound effects
it is
of them
shorter.
falling. But you can see Dot is shorter than Hera. So, like, in a normal adult, Funko it's like I would say, I don't know, what do you think that is? Half an inch higher, like an adult is.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, so there you go. There you go. That is your Funko review. Now, here's one thing. Because I only have Star Wars Funkos.
Mm-hmm.
These are not bobbleheads.
No.
And the other thing that's different than the Star Wars ones that I'm used to getting is, see how the Star Wars ones have little bases on the bottom right there?
Oh, yeah.
It says Star Wars. I'm not used to them not having bases. So this is hence how they all fell down on the floor, because I'm not used to them having to stand on their own two legs. Yakko is having trouble standing up. Oh, now Wacko's falling over. Okay, so anyway, you get the idea. They're good figures. Now,
they look good.
The only challenge now is to find Pinky in the Brain, which that'll be the next acquisition. So there you go. Go get your Funko Animaniacs
if you want.
We are not paid by Funko.
Yeah, it doesn't really affect us either way. So
yes, but if Funko pays us, I'll tell you.
Then you have to get Funko. But right now, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, we're like, get them if you want.
Hello, listener. This is Jess Hano, the voice of Wacko and Animaniacs, and you're listening to Animanicast, which is the best thing you could possibly listen to, especially if you're not wearing pants. I'd love to go on talking to you, but I can't because I've got a potty emergency. See you later.
All right, well, the next segment is called Moon Over Minerva, and Moon Over Minerva was written by Nicholas Hollander and directed by Alfred Jimeno, or Alfred Jimeno. I keep forgetting how to pronounce his name. But anyway, Nathan, what happens in Moon Over Minerva?
All right, so this is the first time we get to see Minerva Mink in her own featured segment, basically. She's out in the wild, and she's lamenting on how hard it is to be beautiful when Wilbur B. Wolf comes over, and he's kind of nerdy and not very attractive necessarily, and he wants to court her, but she doesn't like him in that way. He is heartbroken, I guess, and later on is howling at the moon, which is a full moon. He turns into a werewolf, and then Minerva Mink falls in love with a werewolf, but then he keeps turning back into his old nerdy self every time there's clouds, and then at the end they find out they'll just date every time there's a full moon, I guess. So there you go. So this episode, it has a few quick references, I suppose. Let's see. So first of all, I mean, you have Minerva Mink, who of course was kind of based off of Marilyn Monroe, kind of. I think her original things were based off of that. Original character design, I should say. There's a frog who does a quick little dance like Michigan J. Frog, who was the WB Frog.
He became the WB Frog, but he was of course in Warner Brothers for a long time. Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime cat. And then featured in Spaceballs as well, which is great. One of the best scenes in that movie.
Yeah.
But that is pretty much the only one other than some, song references and stuff like that. But the only one I could kind of think is, well, Minerva kind of wears a dress that looks a little bit like Jessica Rabbit.
Yeah, I thought of Jessica Rabbit when I saw the red dress. I was like, that's kind of...
Yeah, but, overall, it's not very much reference-filled. It's basically just showing Minerva and... what's his name again? Wilford P. Wolf? Is that what's his name?
Wilford B. Wolf.
B. Wolf. Okay. So, what do you guys think about this one?
It reminded me of like Steve Urkel, and when he turns into Stefan Urquell or whatever, like it's kind of that same kind of.
Okay, yeah, I didn't really watch Family Matters that much, but I can see that. Yeah, he did have a smooth kind of personality.
Yeah.
Kelly, what do you think? What do you think about this cartoon?
I kind of liked it in a sense. It has sort of like the fairy tale aspect to it. She's pining away for a true love, and then there's this magical quality to the guy that she actually likes because he's a werewolf.
Yeah,
and and then the frogs and stuff, I don't know, it just kind of reminded me of like the Princess and the Frog and that sort of thing. So it sort of has that feel of a sort of a Disney type segment, but then also it was very like modern and I don't know, weird, because she wants a guy with rich parents and, not your typical, true love kind of.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to have a true loving relation, because when you have a relationship that's purely on looks for either one of them, I'm like,
yeah, this is not really. Yeah,
it's very superficial.
Very superficial love story in this one. I don't really understand why Wilford would keep going after Minerva. I mean, I get it for the concept of this, but
there's other fish in the sea, Wilford.
Yeah, and
although it's nice that she's willing to accept his weird, that he has to turn into a werewolf. I mean, there's not every woman that would accept that necessarily.
So she'll see him once a month or something like that, basically.
He looked like Fabio, I thought, when
he did. He kind of had that romance novel kind of look to him when he turned into the muscular werewolf. I did like that. I mean, his voice was. He was just like, "What's wrong? Hello." That was kind of funny. What am I going to say? This I don't really like this cartoon. I'll just go out and say it. I think it's a little, and I'm not like this a lot, but this is a little too sexual, I think, for a lot of cartoons. It's really on the edge of just being kind of inappropriate. And I could see, I mean, at the time, even as a kid, I could notice that, whoa, Minerva Mink, what's going on with her?
Yeah, it's a little...
They've had to censor this episode a little bit.
I could tell in some scenes there was some obvious where she would have had a lot of cleavage and it was just flat. And you can kind of see whited out, basically.
Her cleavage appears and disappears in this one. And there's one particular one where she's kind of pining away, and I forget what she shoves in her dress, like her pen or her book or something like that. But and in that particular one, if you're watching it on TV, you can see a little white outline right there where her cleavage line would be. Right, so
it makes me just wonder what they were thinking when they did this one.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like. I think they tried to make it balanced in a way, because it's like, well, the guys can act like Tex Avery cartoons and go,
so can the girls,
and so here goes the girls now, get it? And I don't know, I hate to say it's a sexist cartoon, but it gets really on the edge of being sexist.
It's on the edge. I mean, you can say that she's a strong, independent, and she gets to choose. You can't just. I'm not just gonna be your Barbie doll. Like when Wilford is first hitting on her, he's like, I'm not just gonna dress up all nice for you and everything. But still, it's a little bit sexist. So,
but Minerva is just.
It depends on how you look at it, though.
She's she's a sexy cartoon character on a kid's cartoon series. And I think it's kind of weird because Hello Nurse, I think, walks the line of being sexy but innocent at the same time.
And she's also like smart, which we find out later in the series. Like she's
right,
really intelligent.
But
so it's
Minerva, to me, I don't know. I'm not a fan of Minerva. I really don't know much more to say about that. Yeah. And again, and my wife who was watching this, who was watching the previous episode with Hercule Yako, we saw Minerva Mink, and she's like, "Oh, I like that girl."
Did she see this one? And
she did, and she goes, "I don't like her. She's He's like, "Why does he keep trying to go after her? She's a, you know." And she said a word that wasn't that nice. But I don't get it. I don't know. What are any other thoughts on this one, guys?
Yeah, Minerva.
She will be returning.
Yeah, we'll see her again. Maybe we'll like it better in that one.
Yeah, this one is it's a little out of order.
Yeah, because this is the
weird.
second one in her timeline, basically.
Right. Yeah, there's another one called Meet Minerva that is coming out, and it's
like in 50 episodes from now. So
yeah, exactly, but it's kind of weird because again, that one's I think she's even more sexual in that one. So I don't know, guys. This is, to be quite fair and to be quite honest, I should say,
unfair.
No, to be quite honest with you, I mean, Minerva is one of the things that people criticize these days as being a sexist, inappropriate character for the series. And, well, she's not in it that much.
No.
So I guess we'll give it at least that much, but,
well, she's at the beginning of every episode.
That's true. She's in every episode. For a little bit.
Pay for play.
She's still getting paid every episode. One more thing I know that I do like about Minerva Mink is that she's voiced by Julie Brown, who was in a movie called Earth Girls Are Easy. And,
fun.
And
Jim Carrey.
With Jim Carrey, yep. And she sang a few songs. One of them is...
Because I'm a blonde.
Because I'm a blonde, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm a blonde. Yeah.
Which is a hilarious song.
It's a hilarious, again, kind of like stereotypical thing. But it was, back in the 80s, 90s, where blonde jokes were in. It just basically repeated.
Yeah, it was just a bunch of blonde jokes. It's like when Weird Al does his Because I'm Fat, basically.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of...
Yeah, Julie Brown is essentially, she does a lot of Weird Al-ish kind of songs. In fact, I looked her up and she's still doing... she did a Lady Gaga parody recently.
Nice.
So she's still doing stuff. She's still doing stuff. So there you go. Well, let's go ahead and move on to our last segment right here. Okay, the last segment here was Skullhead Boneyhands, and it was written by Deanna Oliver and Michael Gerard. And in this one, Mr. Skullhead plays the part of, basically Edward Scissorhands. And if you've seen Edward Scissorhands, or at least the first half hour of it...
Yeah, that's all you need to have seen.
This pretty much summarizes some of the main plot points of Edward Scissorhands. So much that the mom in this and the family are all caricatures of the actual characters in Edward Scissorhands. Basically, this woman goes up to sell Alon products up to this castle up at the hill at the top of this town, and she sees Skullhead Boneyhands right there, and sees he has bony hands. So she brings him down and tries to put Alon products on him. It doesn't really work. And then they go and they're having dinner, and the dad says, "What's your favorite? You have to make sure you're contributing or something like that." And his main thing that he can do to help out, or his main trick, is to put bones out for the dog, and the dog likes him so much that he ends up grabbing Mr. Skullhead's arm, dragging him through the house, and then burying him in the backyard. And that's
how it ends.
Yeah,
I was like, I guess that's the end.
Yeah, Skullhead Boneyhands. One thing to mention is that the Warners do sing Mr. Skullhead's theme song in this, and then do a little ending one as well. Which that song was first featured in Take Elmira Please on Tiny Toon Adventures. Because, in case you didn't know, we mentioned it before in a previous episode, Mr. Skullhead was originally a creation by Elmira Duff in Tiny Toons. So, like, she drew him, I believe. So, there you go. Well, what do you guys think? Skullhead Boneyhands. Any moments you liked? Things like that? Kelly, let's start with you.
I thought it was really cute. I'm trying to remember if I'd seen Edward Scissorhands even before I saw this episode. I think I did, so I think I made the connections. But I just love the reference. And the Avon lady, and bringing him home and putting makeup on him, and then showing what he could do to entertain the dog.
Yes.
Like, look how happy he's made the dog.
The dog looked like it was the same dog from the Rasputin one, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
He looked very similar. At least the same character model. Maybe not the same dog, but...
Yeah, the teeth weren't different.
Yeah, he had different teeth.
He didn't have the hypnotic teeth.
And Winona Ryder is caricatured in this one, and she looks... you could tell that they're going for a caricature of Winona Ryder, but boy, oh boy, does she look really she looks pretty bad in this one. They really over-exaggerated her features, really sunken in eyeballs.
Yeah, she looks very tired.
And at one point when they're all looking out on the porch, her arms are incredibly long, and she looks almost like an ape or something like that. So I would not like this cartoon if I was Winona Ryder. But... the music, they played some music that actually sounded a little bit like Danny Elfman as well, which is kind of cool to hear. Is that little bum 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 bum, little hoppy kind of music that you hear? Nathan, what do you think?
I thought it was a good adaptation of Edward Scissorhands. I thought it represented it pretty well, but I didn't think it was particularly funny necessarily. Like, some of the jokes fell kind of flat, like... You're skin and bones. Oh, you're just bones. Yeah. I did like the end though, or just like the end. Like, I guess that's the end of it. Like,
I kept expecting him to burst out of the thing.
It seemed like they didn't quite know how to end it, so that's why they're just like, I guess that's the end of it. Like,
see, if I were to do it, I would have like Mr. Skullhead, like burst out of the thing and run away or something like that, so he could get away. But no, he just was buried, and
that's why there's never another cartoon of Mr.
That's
Skullhead.
True. This is the only Mr. Skullhead segment they ever made. So
because he's still buried in their yard. So
there you go. Well,
did you see the Bugs Bunny bone in the graveyard?
No.
There's one that looks like Bugs Bunny.
As
she's entering, there's one, and he's clearly a bunny leaning against a wall.
Yeah, as she's entering the castle right there, at the beginning, there's a bunch of skeletons in the yard, and one of them looks like a skeleton of Bugs Bunny just leaning against a big bone. So there you go. That's kind of cute.
Yeah,
I didn't see that the first time.
It's definitely something you can easily miss, but
yeah. Well, it felt a lot like a Mad Magazine parody. I remember getting Mad Magazines as a kid, and they would do these parodies of the movies that are out, and it would be more of a chance to see caricatures than necessarily have something that's funny. And I think this is kind of falling in that line where the caricatures are all there and you're going over the plot, but it's not necessarily the funniest thing in the world. It's just it's there.
Yeah.
That does it for the different segments of this episode.
All
so
right.
It is time to get to our water tower rating. Okay, well, we went through them all, and it's time to get to the ratings. Let's see. Who wants to go first? Me? You're pointing to me.
Oh, I thought you were just saying to yourself.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll go ahead and... I'm going to give my rating first. I'm going to give this episode... I'm going to give this episode 2 stars, guys. I don't know. That's pretty low. I really, really liked... maybe I'll go... You know what? I'll go 2.5. Just because the first one was so good. And Mr. Skullhead was... It was okay. I could take it or leave it. The Minerva Mink one, just didn't like it, and it wasn't necessarily funny, and it wasn't necessarily appropriate either. So that's my thoughts. What about you, Kelly?
I'll give it 3, because I did really like the first segment, and then the other 2 weren't horrible. They just weren't they just weren't as good as the first one. I did like, the Tim Burton reference with Edward Scissorhands. I thought that was kind of neat, and I never really have liked Minerva Mink a whole lot. Yeah. And I still kind of wondered what they were trying to accomplish. But because based on the strength of the first segment, I'll give it 3 stars. Okay. I'm sorry, water towers.
And Nathan, what about you?
I'm going to do 3 stars.
No, water towers.
I'm doing 3 water towers as well for pretty much the same reasons. Very funny, good idea about idea at the beginning.
Okay.
And I enjoyed that first segment, and then the other 2 are fine, like whatever.
It seemed to me, if I was to say it's like going uphill, and then it crashes downhill with Minerva, and then that starts to go up a little bit.
I think it pretty much levels off with Minerva.
Levels out. But there you go. So if I were to rewatch this, I'd rewatch like the first segment and then just move on to the next episode.
Yeah, that's probably all you need of the episode. But unless you want to see a Minerva Mink
if you're into it.
So there you go.
And I know there are some people that are into it.
Yeah.
No judging.
Sounds kind of like you're judging.
Bit. Yeah, maybe a little bit. Okay. Now we're going to go over to our poll results. And a couple weeks ago, we had a poll. And we were going to have our announcer do it, but he's MIA recently. I don't know where he is. I think he got into a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, some gambling issues?
Something. He was at a casino. I think he said he was at the Water Tower Casino. But I was actually just checking this, and it turns out he was at the Watto Casino.
Oh.
And
the Watto Tower?
No, yeah, I don't know if there's any. Yeah, the Watto Tower. Yeah, that was
not the Watto Tower.
No, So Watto apparently has this casino, and so he's gotten into a little bit of trouble. So he's still not here. We wish him luck, and hope to get him on the show at some point.
Yeah, sure.
But in the meantime, Nathan, can you remind us what the poll question was and what the results were?
All the way last year. So let me tell you, there was the question was, what was your favorite antagonist or special friend, basically, and the choices were Vern Bear, Wally Llama, and Ivan Blosky and Death. And so Ivan Blosky got 6%, Wally Llama 14%, Ivan Blosky 20%, and the winner was Death. I know, at 60%. I can't believe Ivan Blosky beat Wally Llama.
I know.
I thought it was going to be a tough run between Death and Wally Llama, but
yeah, me too. But Ivan Blosky really he
is like the special friend. They call him that many times. So I think that's
true.
Partly the Twitter question.
Yeah, the Twitter question might have spoiled the results a little bit there. So, but I don't know. So, what do you guys think?
I voted for Death, but
I voted for Death as well.
Kill me now.
Just kill me now. No, I think it's. I think Death was. It's a hard decision for me because I really liked Wally Llama and Death. And even Ivan Blosky was much better than I ever remembered it. Vern, it was okay. But
speaking of Death, I was in Michigan last week, and we were driving to Ohio. So I had to go. All is strange and vague. Are we dead, or is this Ohio?
Oh, perfect timing!
I know. I've been waiting to use that one apparently.
So, and Kelly, who did you vote for in this particular poll?
Wally Llama.
Of course. And and just give us a quick reason. Why do you love Wally Llama so much?
I just find that episode hysterical. I just think it's one of the funniest things I've ever seen, and I never get tired of watching it.
There you go. Oh. And if you, go back, audience, if you haven't listened to that particular episode, check out the archives right over there and listen, because it's a fun discussion about Wally Llama.
My best friend was driving me to the airport before I went to Michigan, and I get nervous before flights, and she's like, llama, 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 llama. I was like, you know me so well, because that's what I needed.
Okay, well, Nathan, what do you think? Why don't you go ahead and give us our new poll for this question, the new poll for this week?
The new poll. Okay, so the question is, basically, which is the best mini cartoon between the following things? So basically, Hip Hippos is one of them. Minerva Mink, we're going to throw that in there since we just heard it from her. And then we haven't asked Chicken Boo. We haven't had a poll with Chicken Boo in it. Yeah. And if we want, do we want to do Skullhead?
Yeah, we'll put Mr. Skullhead in there too.
Because he has now on his own, his own little... He has
one Skullhead Boneyhands.
Skullhead Boneyhands, so it could beat all the others. So, we'll see.
So go ahead and vote. Who is your favorite of these little mini segments right here? And make your voice heard. You can go over to the twitter.com/Animaniacast or simply search for hashtag Animaniacast poll, and you should be able to find it. Well, before we wrap things up, ladies and gentlemen, we have it's our 30th episode. Woo! That's our 30th episode, and that means every 15 episodes, we like to go through all the different gag credits that have been appearing in the credits of Animaniacs. And in this case, they're all the different things that Catherine Page appeared as in the credits. So, we went over, 1 through 15 in episode 15. So now we are in episode 30, and we're going to go through 16 through 30. Got it?
The math checks out.
Okay, good. And for each one of these, Nathan, you will give a sound effect that has something to do with that particular job that she's credited for. Are you ready, Nathan?
Can I just do the same sounds as last time?
No. You have to be brand new and different.
Nah, I'll just do the same ones.
No.
Right.
Okay, here we go. So let's start the clock. Okay. Number 16, Catherine Page was the shepherd. In number 17, she was tired of these credits.
That was easy.
Number 18, she was a zookeeper. It's a zoo of sheep and lions. In number 19, she was buried under lists. In number 20, she was a bullfighter. You can't even say ole?
Ole!
There you go.
I was like, I don't know what they say.
In number 21, she was a tractor puller.
I'm trying to pull the tractor.
Good job. In number 22, she was a party clown.
Woo!
All right, this one I'm interested in hearing. In number 23, she was a taxidermist.
Okay.
What the heck are you doing?
Taxiderming.
That's the noises you make when you're being a taxidermist?
Yeah.
I don't want to go to that taxidermist place.
Okay.
That's the insane taxidermist.
Sorry.
Okay, in number 24, she was a bounty hunter. We don't need their scum.
He's no good to me, Dad.
There you go. Number 25, she was a rug merchant.
You want to buy this rug, Joey?
Nope.
Okay.
Number 26, she was a backhoe operator.
Back! Operator. I don't know.
Okay.
Backhoe.
Okay.
It's got nothing.
Number 27, she was a wine steward.
Would you like some more wine?
Oh, yes, it's sparkling muscatel.
That was me whining at the end.
Oh. You're supposed to ask at the very end, would you like to smell the bottle cap?
Yes. Muppets.
Muppets. Okay. Number 28, she was a ride operator.
All right. Single file, 2x2, I don't know. And go!
And he's raising his hands up in the air. Okay. Number 29, she was a barbarian.
I need a shave.
And number 30, today's episode, she was a circus performer.
Clowns in a circus, everyone in a circus.
Okay, Nathan.
Yes.
I think you definitely actually did start repeating some of your noises.
No.
I'm pretty sure you did, but we'll take them anyway. Nice job. Okay, well, now that we got that out of the way.
Thank goodness.
Let's go ahead and get to our contact information. Nathan, you're exhausted from all that, but go ahead and give us your contact information. Where can people find you online?
You can find me on Twitter if you want. Django FT. I'll be making noises of all sorts of things on there, so you can hear me there.
Very cool. And Kelly, how about you?
Twitter Yoda Princess, YODAPRNCSS, or Kelly at BigShinyRobot.com.
Very nice. And of course, you can find us at the Animaniacast on Facebook and on Twitter and even on Google Plus if you're into that. And of course, we're also at retrozap.com. You can email us at animanicast@retrozap.com. And speaking of retrozap.com, you can find a ton of different columns and editorials and articles, all of different nerdy kind of topics, and a bunch of different podcasts as well, such as the ARGcast, Beltway Banthas, Brews and Blasters, the Deucecast Movie Show, Dunecast, The Sandcrawler, Skywalking Through Neverland, Starship, Sabers and Scoundrels, Talking Apes TV, Techno Retro Dads, and the Trade Federation. Wow, lots of podcasts that you could listen to. In fact, if you wanted to, you could actually subscribe to the Retro Zap feed, and you can get every single one of those podcasts delivered to your device, including the podcast you're listening to right now, the Animaniacast. So there you go. Check it out at retrozap.com. Okay, well, I think that's pretty much it. And I have nothing else to say about this episode. And I'm ready to go to bed, I think. No. So, for the Animaniacast, this is Joey. For Nathan and Kelly, good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
This podcast is not endorsed by Warner Brothers or Amblin Entertainment and is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Animaniacs, the Warner Brothers logo, all names, pictures, and sounds of the Animaniacs characters or any other Animaniacs-related items are registered trademarks and or copyrights of Warner Brothers, Amblin Entertainment, or their respective trademark and copyright holders. All original content of this podcast is the intellectual property of the Animaniacast unless otherwise indicated.